I'm not ready.
3, 2, 1, roll one.
Okay, Julia.
Oh no!
Fuck, you didn't get a C grade,
So for once there, that was not me failing to get clipped in. Welcome to another race analysis video. This is once again a B grade criterium on a Tuesday night. A bit cold and miserable, a bit windy, and this is the last crit we've got for a while at this track. The supercars are racing, hence why there's all the construction going up, and so we don't have the track for a few weeks. The Super Series has just finished, and so everyone's sort of at the end of the little season. And I'm looking at doing something a little bit different here today. Rather than doing my usual sit at the pack as long as I can and sprint at the end, I'm going to try just attacking whenever I feel like it and see how that goes. We're about half a lap in. My power meter unfortunately isn't working, so I don't know the numbers, but I got bored in half a lap and went on the attack. This is Alex Luca, I think, who's coming with me from Keystone. He's a strong rider. He's racing in Cat 1 in the Super Series. I was racing in Cat 2. He's a strong rider, and we'll see how we go. I think I'd hoped for maybe one or two more to come with me. I certainly didn't want to do it solo, but with two people we can at least make a go of it. Alex is happy to work, and the two of us pull turns for as long as we can. I think I mentioned to him at this point that the power meter's not working, and he says something like, power doesn't matter, just go. And he's absolutely right. We make it about 2 laps off the front before Misha Bartalan bridges up to us. Misha's another strong breakaway rider. He's someone I'd love to have in a breakaway, but unfortunately by the time he got to us the rest of the field had caught up. And that was it for a bit. We're 4 laps later. Spent the last couple of laps hiding in, sitting in the wheels. Just decided to move to the front, and since my heart rate was still pinging at 180, I went again. This one I got off the front solo for a bit. Fortunately I had a few people come and join me, not for a little while. As usual, people will sort of wait and see if a move's looking like going, and then if it does, the people who are interested in a breakaway will attack and try to bridge across. It takes about half a lap, but then Misha and my mate Toby Simpson bridges across. I mentioned before, Misha's a great breakaway rider. He's got a huge engine and he can go forever. Toby Simpson's a sprinter. He's an out-and-out sprinter. I don't know what he's doing coming across to a breakaway, just like me. He's got no business being up here. But here he is in a 3-up break with one strong breakaway rider and another sprinter. I was glad for the company. My heart rate's at 188. My max is about 192, I reckon. So I'm all in at this point. A few more people end up coming across. We get about 6 in the end. Unfortunately, the others don't really work. And we pretty quickly come back together. I was a little bit disappointed. Nick Chabrel, who's suffering in the rear camera, he's another super strong rider. He's won state TT championships for his age group, and he's dangerous with a few laps to go. This old fella just walking along the track, oblivious, and we pick up a few riders from the D grade. Now at this point we do still have a bit of a gap, and I'm committed. I mean, as I said, I'm now at 191 beats. But I'm going to see if I can get this at least to stick away for a bit. If we can have a few of the other riders take some turns. As I said, Nick's on the front now. He is absolutely driving it. Webby in the black. He's one of my teammates. He's super strong. And there's one more rider coming in across. This is a really strong breakaway now. We've got 3-4 strong breakaway riders. We've got a couple of sprinters who'll be motivated to work, because if this stays away, we've got a good shot at the win. We could really push this, and I mean, we're only 9 laps, only sort of 10 or 11 minutes, 15 minutes or so into the race. But with this group, we could stay away, and it sometimes happens where you get a bunch that's just not motivated. There's a bunch of different teams represented up the front. I mean, it's not really a team's race, but if you've got teammates in the break, even if you're not racing with them, you're not going to chase. And unfortunately, a few people skip turns. The guy on the front's just sort of left there, and he's not really hammering it at this point. Nick pulls through for another strong turn, and I'm going to go through after that. But unfortunately, without some real cohesion in this group, we get caught. And that's the issue. Any breakaway that doesn't work together 100% for the first couple of laps is just not going to build a big enough gap to stay away. And after another half a lap, with people sort of not rotating through, the writing's on the wall, and we get caught. I throw out the parachutes at that point, although I think Webby and a couple of others try to counter-attack and maybe have another go. At this point I'm cooked, and since we haven't made that initial break, I've got nothing else to contribute, so I'm going to hang back in the pack for a bit. Now I'm just going to talk a little bit about setting up attacks. Now we're coming into the bottom corner, as you can see from the map. This is quite a sharp corner. I really like this corner. If you're a bit confident, if you are smooth into the corner, you can rip through the corner without losing much speed. You can't quite pedal through it at top speed, but you can go through it without touching the brakes. And then there's a little uphill rise here. And so if you can carry really good speed through the corner, put in some good power on the way out of the corner, that's a really good spot for an attack. I don't have the energy here, I think, to really go on with it, but I've certainly strung it out a bit. Once again, there's a few people with me, no really big gaps opening up behind. Nick Chabrel comes through and takes the turn again in a minute, but we don't really make any separation here. A few laps later, Misha's attacking off the front again. I have a bit of a thought about going with him, but I'm way too far back. Now, I don't want him to stay away. There's 7 or 8 laps left of this race, but he's a dangerous rider to let go. And at this point I've decided that I'm here for a workout, not for a win, so I get on the front and start drilling it to try to catch up. This race really is now just about having some fun, seeing what I can do, putting some power down. I skipped a workout to come and do the race, so I want to get something out of it, so why not do some big efforts on the front? We're getting close to the end of the race now. For whatever reason I decide I want to keep it stitched together. Maybe at this point I've got a thought that I've got some energy left for a sprint. I have sat in for 5 or 6 laps. 2 guys off the front, they're dangerous, so once again I want to hit this corner at the front, take my own line through it. I haven't really done much more work than the guy behind, but I've opened up a few bike lengths. And as I said, just coming through that corner well, you can close up a whole bunch of distance. These guys have already sort of sat up, I think. But I think I was going to make up a whole bunch of space on them anyway, just by taking the corner well. Coming in, got about 2.5 laps to go. I see a couple of guys sort of moving off the front, and one of them's a teammate of mine, Art. And I figured that I can just let the wheel drop. He and Nick can go. I've talked about Nick before. Art's another huge engine, and there goes Misha with him. Those 3 are a huge threat. And I'm not going to win this, whatever happens, so I'm not interested in stitching up. I'm going to let them go for it. In the rear camera, you see a couple of people coming up a bit close to me. I'm going backwards, and I don't think Angus is happy about that, so he tries to ride me off the road. He thinks I'm wobbling around, which, look, I'll not say anything too much on here. And anyway, the breaker 3 doesn't go, but we're now 2 laps to go. Now this is the bit that I really love about Victoria Park racetrack. If you want to move up on this back straight, you can do it at any time. It looks like we're doing about 40 k's an hour here. My GPS is going all screwy at the moment. 2 laps to go. I've got a little bit of energy left, so I'm going to try to move up here. I've got Nick Clark just ahead of me. He's not going anywhere. But a little bit of a dig, and I can move up the protected side, and basically I'm back at the front of the race. I'm also on the inside of the corner, which is where I want to be. If there's going to be a crash, it's going to sweep outwards, and so being on the inside is the safest place to be. And I'm now 5th wheel with 2 laps to go. So again, you can always move up there if you want to, provided it's not completely strung out. Having said that, I'd spent a lot of energy earlier in this race, and I decided at this point, I think, that I wasn't going to be contesting the sprint, even though I was in a really good spot. With Webby attacking up on the left, again, I'm not interested in doing any work chasing it down. And that's really about all she wrote in this race. I didn't bother contesting the sprint with 1 lap to go. This corner up here sometimes gets a bit hairy if you're not in the top 5 wheels. I wasn't interested in playing pinball, and so I just rolled through to the finish off the back of the bunch. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.